What is going on, everybody? Today we're going to be doing the front brakes on this 2007 BMW 335i. So the first thing that we need to do is raise the vehicle, put it on a jack stance, and we can take the front wheel off. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now we're ready to remove the tire. You're gonna need a 17mm socket, and if you have a wheel lock, which on this case we have, this is the key. I have another video on the part number and everything. Okay, and we're ready to remove the wheel. Okay, and the next thing that we need to do is to remove the caliper, then the caliper bracket. So to remove the caliper, we need to remove these two caps. We have one here and one on the bottom. Okay, and then you need an 8mm Allen socket. These are the bolts that hold the caliper to the caliper bracket. The next thing will be to remove the sensor from the brake pad. Just be very gentle not to damage the sensor. So now we're gonna remove this big clip. So this is the caliper and this is the caliper bracket. This is the bracket. This whole thing is the caliper. Okay, so now we can remove the brake pads. And then we're gonna go to the brake fluid reservoir, open it up. Then we can retract the piston. Using one of these. We're gonna use an old brake pad. And the reason we're doing this is because if you have too much fluid, it might overflow. That way it has some space to spill. Now if you have a spill, you might want to put some rag. That way it doesn't damage any components. Okay, and then we need a 18mm socket to remove the caliper bracket. There's 2 bolts. Now we can remove the rotor. You need a 7mm Allen socket. Okay, here we have the new brake pads. It's part number, and the rotor. There's part number, and always you want to make sure, checking side by side, make sure that they match. Brake pad or brake pad. Okay, the next thing to do is clean the rotors with some brake cleaner. It has a little bit of oil to prevent rust. Ready to go. Before I put the small bolt that it's holding the rotor in place, I like to do the wheel nuts or the wheel bolts. That way I can tie it all the way and I won't have any problem putting the wheel back on. Now we're going to put the caliper bracket on. Now we're going to put the brake pads on the caliper. This goes in the piston. We're going to put the other one on the caliper bracket. Now we're gonna put a little bit of grease on the caliper bolts. Don't forget about your caps. Now we're gonna put the clip. Okay, make sure that the clip is on the right way. Caliper and caliper brackets are attached properly. Then don't forget about the sensor. So this is where the sensor will go. Okay, now you can go ahead and put the tire, lower the vehicle down, and you can do the same thing on the other side. Okay, so as you notice, the brake reservoir has filled because we pushed the piston back. Now what we need to do is go inside, start the vehicle, and press the brake pedal a few times. You're gonna feel the brake pedal is gonna go all the way to the floor, and because the piston is trying to adjust to the brake rotors. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay. Now go ahead and check the brake fluid, make sure it's at maximum level. If you need some, add some. If you don't, then just leave it like it is, and let's go ahead and test it. Let's go ahead and test drive it. Okay, so something that I noticed, the sensor, it only had on the driver's side, not on the passenger side. So in some cases you will find two sensors, but in this case I only had one sensor on the driver's side. So let's go ahead and test drive. Alright guys, well there you have it. Thanks a lot for watching, and see you on the next video.